Hey, y'all. As a growing family, my husband and I love game night, especially when it's Wayfair edition.
Let's do it. You gotta name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
I'm Kamika Dillard, certified ACC professional coach and CEO of S.A.V.E Forward Coaching. At S.A.V.E Forward Coaching, professional growth isn't one size fits all. That's why we've created 3 ways to support you. DOT for building clarity and direction, RISE for resilience and intentional action, and VISION for long-term strategy and leadership. Each program is designed to help you move through setbacks with confidence and clarity and create momentum that lasts. No pressure, no hustle, just real progress. Ready to explore what's possible? Book a free discovery call at s.a.v.e.forwardcoaching.com. Welcome to the Black Women Will Save Black Women podcast, the podcast where we support, amplify, validate, and elevate Black women always. I'm your host, Kamika Dillard, and this is our sanctuary. This is more than a podcast, it's a movement. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So for this week's Fail Forward File, I'm talking about me not saving myself. What's happening, and I've talked about this before, but it's becoming really problematic at this time because now it's affecting my business. So I keep putting everyone else's needs before my own. Discounts here, extra hours there, giving my time away, my energy away, like it's endless. On the outside, it looks like generosity, but if I'm being real, it's sabotaging my own business. I've been stumbling forward, not striding forward, which there is a big difference between that because I'm carrying just everyone else. And the truth is, I just can't keep doing it. I can't keep draining myself dry, expecting my business to thrive. And here's the kicker. Saving yourself isn't selfish. It's not survival. It's about being and setting a strong foundation for, you to go forward in anything you do. So this week's Fail Forward File is me admitting that I have failed to save myself. I did not put my own mask on, and as a result, I'm lacking oxygen. So I am taking a real look at myself and my business and thinking about the value that my work does. So there's not going to be a ton of discounts here, a ton of freebies there, because if I keep doing it, I will never reach the success that I know I'm capable of reaching. So if I keep stumbling for others, I'll never stand tall for myself. And that's the real lesson of this week's Fail Forward File. So standing tall is really the only way to move forward. So think about that as you kind of continue to mash generosity as a way of you not saving yourself. And that's this week's Fail Forward Files.
Kara here from The Kara Golden Show. If you're not using Ironclad for contracts, you could be leaving millions on the table. Ironclad's AI instantly surfaces what matters: renewal dates, pricing terms, and obligations, so you can act quickly before opportunities slip away. That's why they're trusted by great brands like OpenAI, L'Oreal, Salesforce, and so many others. Find the savings hiding in your contracts at ironcladapp.com/podcast. That's ironcladapp.com/podcast.
All right, y'all. We have a very special guest. I have Dr. Carla Michelle in the house. Carla Michelle, this is my line sister. Let me make sure I read this bio, okay? I was given a very thick bio, y'all.
I gave you 2.
Okay, she did. She sent over a few options because, this is what Deltas do. We're going to give you all the things, okay? Dr. Carla Michelle is the founder and CEO of CM Coaching and Consulting Services, an executive coach, business psychologist, and author. With over 2 decades of experience, she helps leaders elevate confidence, strengthen self-leadership, and align who they are with how they lead. She's the author of several books, including Confidence Without a Chaser, The Strong Women's Playbook, and hosts the Strong Network podcast, advancing self-leadership for clarity and meaningful impact. Let's welcome to the sanctuary, Dr. Carla Michelle.
Yay for you.
Yay for you. Okay, she has all the books. For those who are watching on YouTube, we have the Strong Women's Playbook.
Yes.
You see on the table the Free Woman. You see on the table Confidence Without a Chaser, and we have some more books that you've written, correct?
Yes, but I've written them so long ago. It is, yeah. So it's A Woman of Substance. That's my first one. And so it's more like a devotional type. Can you see yourself in this person, and what thoughts and tricks can you take? But actually tools that you can take from this, like, what do you smell like? That's one of the chapters. And so it's the essence of who you are. Okay. And it's like, do you know what you smell like? We put this perfume on and all this stuff, but your attitude is really what people smell. So we talk a little bit about that in Woman of Substance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a lot going on.
A lot.
Okay. So Carla's going to attack me a little bit about me having too much going on. So it's so funny. We're taping today because the episode that I have airing next Monday, I referenced our lunch together about a month ago and how I'm thinking we're getting together for lunch and you're actually getting together with me to try to get me together. So, so that's part of the reason why I wanted to bring you on the show, is because you tried to read me. Well, you did read me and I just wasn't prepared for it. And I really think you have a lot to say that people are going to find super valuable. But I want to share the story of how when I told you I was going to get into coaching, what your response was to me. I don't even know if you remember this.
Remind me.
So we were online. And this is when I still had my corporate job. And I had took my certification. I got all my certification and stuff. And Loren had said, oh, you need to talk to Carla. So Loren is my back, y'all. She's going to be on another episode. And she was like, oh, you need to talk to Carla. So I was like, okay, let me go talk to Carla. And you're all the way in the back part of the line, okay? We're the tall shorties, okay? She's not that much taller, y'all, okay? I just want to say that.
Tall.
And you say to me, I say, hey, I'm trying to explore coaching. I would love to pick your brain about this. I'm very curious about this. Yeah. And you say to me, how much do you want to charge an hour?
I do.
Yes, you said, how much do I want to charge an hour? And I was like at least 300. And you were like, okay, great. We can have a conversation now. And I was like, well, damn, like I've done some research, I wasn't going to just come and step up to you, but you kind of made me feel like, don't waste my time if you're on this BS. And I was just like, let me get it together.
Thanks for sharing that. Let me tell you why. Because I figured that told me your value. So if you didn't see your value, our talk would have been more about me convincing you about your value instead of what you can do in your business. So it was more strategic than a put down. It was like, okay, she sees it. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So,
I wasn't prepared. I was just like,
but you did good.
I set the right number.
But the funny thing is, I don't recall doing it like that. And I apologize. If
you don't have to apologize.
But I know why I would have done it like that. Because I wanted to know how you identify, right? And I think that's what's going to help you be the great coach that you are, is how you identify. And then how you put the investment someone makes to work with you, you see your value. And it's not just you trying to say a title. It's, no, I'm about that business.
So I know you've been coaching for how many years? Let's level set, folks.
Well, yeah, to remember, I was a therapist for a few years, longer than a few years. That's another story. And so it was always me kind of coaching. So I did some kind of counseling or anything back in the day from my 20s on, and I'm only 25, but from my 20s on, I've always been in the arena of either speaking or one-on-ones or groups sessions or group things. So coaching on my own in my own business bless you.
Thank you.
It's been since 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 10 years.
Is it? Oh my gosh. Girl,
Yeah.
I'm hot. 10 years. Yes. Because I didn't want to be a therapist. God bless all the therapists out there.
Shout out to the therapist.
Yeah, but I wanted to move a little freer. And I wanted to, if you talk to me, I like to dig a little deeper and make you uncomfortable. And therapy, they're there for therapy because of things that are needing to help, psychologically and my style was fine for that, but I knew my style was really different. I want to see growth, and I like to see growth like really fast.
What's the difference between coaching and therapy? I know the difference, but let's level set folks.
Well, coaching, let's say for me, therapy is more of a talk. I'm listening, I'm hearing you, because some people need to be seen, need to be heard, and they need to be understood in a way, but they're not necessarily looking for the next step, like a big step. They're looking for, no one's ever heard me. They don't, all the pain, and they need a place to deposit that. For me, coaching it can mix in, because I think I work from the inside out anyway. But coaching for me is like I'm blowing that whistle at you. I'm like, Ron, pick up them knees. Why are you stopping? I'm a little of that, because if you're going to have a coach, I really do think about it in sports, to be that person you say you want to be. I can't just pat you on the back and hold your hand and say it's going to be all right all the time. It's like, okay, this is what you said you wanted. Especially if I see it in you, it's over. I'm going to pull. And so that's the difference for me.
Where do you see people not leaning in from a coach's perspective? Because part of the reason why I brought Carla on is I wanted her to talk about the importance of coaching and why more Black women, especially who are dealing with all this chaos, why they should have coaches. And there are different types of coaches, but where do you see people failing to really take advantage of coaching in order to help them propel to the next level?
Well, in the industry, you see a lot more men take advantage of coaching, and usually they're in the C-suite, and you don't have a lot of women, nor do you have a lot of Black women in the C-suite. So what I have my clientele can go from, middle man or senior managers to, or below, and then up to, you have your CEO or founders. And have seen that the benefit is the direction that you get the partnership. You have someone who is able to pull from your potential so you can go to that next level. Also to help you see the blind spots that you don't see. Because many times when we're employed, we have our head down. We're just doing the work, and we're just trying to make sure we just nothing happens, right? But then having that futuristic thought process. And that is why coaching, I believe, is important for women, because we don't get it. There's very few. I mean, I guess you might see more now, but where it's covered financially, usually you have people paying out of their pocket and they can get reimbursed a certain amount. But for the big money, it's usually the men. So that's why women should speak up and really invest in themselves if they cannot get the company to do it.
It's interesting because when I was working for my company, the company that laid me off, I took advantage of everything they offered, which was also a coach.
Good.
Which inspired me to say, wait, hold on. When I was looking for a coach, I couldn't even find one that looked like me. There were very few Black women coaches. And when I wasn't able to find a Black woman coach, I went back and redid my criteria. And one of the things I was looking for, I need someone who would help coach me on confidence. And the person who I wind up choosing was someone who had also played sports, because I used to play sports too. So what topics do you feel that people need to really get coached on? Or where do you see what areas do you see men getting coached on that women don't necessarily look to get coached on?
Okay, so men are more because well, it's so funny because I don't know if you've read any kind of study or heard this. Men just know how to show up in a way that displays the confidence, but I believe their number one is still confidence. They may not say that, but that's what comes out because, like I said, working from the inside out, you get that they have their own imposter syndrome. When they go for a job, they're like, yeah, I can do like 2 out of those 5 things, but I'm still going to go for it. So they show that, but when they're actually in the position, that's where it catches up. Whereas women still, they go for confidence more so they go for how do I get along? How do I maneuver the system that is here? How do I, that kind of, how do I be? How do I identify? They have imposter syndrome, yes, but it's also how do I fit in an environment where maybe I'm the only one if we're talking about the Black woman. So it's identity, self-leadership, confidence, executive presence. Even sometimes you get in how to even manage a meeting and for your presence, for your leadership to be followed. So things like that.
How long do you see the men's coaching relationships last versus women? Is there a difference there?
For women are longer. Men are more top, this is what I want to work on. And so I want to, once I'm there, I think so they're probably anywhere from 6 months to a year, where women are, well, I do have a few men that are longer, but women majority, they'll keep going. Like 3 to 5 years, and not for the same reason, is because they have propelled. And so now they need the coach at each level.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So what are you seeing is the baseline level, and then what's the middle level, and then what's the latest level? So if you have somebody 5 years, like I'm just thinking to myself, when I first went and got coaching, it was like, oh, coach me on confidence.
Right.
Like, I don't think I would be coached on confidence right now. I think where I would lean more into with the need for a coach, and I probably need to get another business coach, is maybe it is still confidence, feeling more okay with the way I'm executing, even if the results aren't coming quick. And we've talked about this.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to the arc of those longer term coaching relationships.
Right. So it's still confidence, like you said, on various levels, but it's also identity. How you identify now is different than you identified when you were employed. So that is tied into confidence, but we would work on how you identify. You are now an owner. You are now a founder. You are now a CEO. That's different than an employee. A lot more is on you. All of the decision making,
all of it.
Right? Finances, all of that is on you. So it's still a bit of that confidence in there. Because you've taken the first step. And the first step, I feel like with confidence, is getting over the fear. And then the second one is understanding you need a strategy. And then and then the last one is really just action and knowing that you're going to go through this cycle of fear, strategy, action, fear, strategy, action, and that's what we work on because everything is new. If I use you as the example, everything is new. But you have the bandwidth to carry it, is just pulling that out so you understand, okay, I've got this. It looks scary. It feels odd, but I'm going to have these growing pains. I'm going to embrace it. So that's how it's still, because you're always expanding. So it's different areas of the confidence.
So in other words, I'm going to have to continue to work on my confidence.
Right. I mean, okay, yeah, I've been doing this for a while, but it's still confidence even for myself. I mean, I do a lot of self-talk. You get up, what's going on? Well, okay. And then, it's something about confidence and being scared it's okay to feel scared. Just like we do it scared. It's okay to cry. It's okay. It's okay to crash out. It's part of it. I'm just saying, people are going through.
Girl, you can say me, I'm going through it, okay?
You're going through a time that was unexpected, but maybe expected, in some way, but unexpected. It's like going through a breakup. How do you break up with the old you? And that's what you're experiencing. You're going to mourn the old you. You're going to mourn what you've had. You're going to mourn the way things were. It's a breakup. And so how do you have confidence in this next relationship with yourself?
Are you asking me for real?
No, that's a statement. But yeah, how do you? That's a good question.
I mean, she said she was going to ask a lot of questions, y'all. And I told Carla already. She was like, "Can I ask you questions?" I was like, "Be easy, okay? Be easy." I mean, I am still mourning the old life.
Right.
And I say that it's like I'm mourning like the little petty stuff. I call it petty, but it's meaningful to some people. Like I talk about my finances a lot. Like I'm mourning the fact I don't have a high 6-figure job anymore. I'm mourning the fact that, I may not achieve my goal of like C-suite within a corporation, a major corporation, because that was one of my goals. And who knows, like I might still like achieve that goal, but right now I can't.
Okay, can I just pause right there? You are a CEO. You are
No.
You are there.
I'm there, but like
you're there.
I had my own goal of being C-suite, Fortune 500 company, and who knows, like maybe I will become a Fortune 500
Girl,
company.
That should be, I'm sorry, yes. I forget we're all mic'd up and cameras is rolling.
But, I want to name it because I think so many Black women, especially the ones who've been laid off.
Very true.
We are mourning we're mourning that we did the right thing and then we weren't rewarded accordingly.
Right.
And
real.
I think that's a really big thing that we don't talk enough about because they're like, I don't think people understand. Like Black women being the most highly educated group out of everyone. Like we went and got the degrees. We make sure we're overqualified. We show up. We do the right thing. We do the job. And like, it's still not enough. So and for me specifically, since now you got me all up in my business, I've poured a lot into my career. I poured a lot into professional aspects or my professional life in general because I felt that was the easiest thing I can control to ensure that I would get my return on investment.
Wow.
And I know that's heavy. Like I had a mentor, and I don't know if I mentioned this on the show yet, but I had a mentor when I was in my early 20s who told me, you should focus on getting a partner because it will make life way easier. And I know some people hear that and say, that's no guarantee. But like the way she was explaining it to me, like you will have freedom to try more things. If you want to leave a job, like you could leave a job and like your partner could maybe help you and you guys make that decision together and you guys plan for it. And she really like told me to focus on that. And I'm like, girl, I'm not focused on no man. Like I'm getting this money, like, and, heads down, I was trying to get said money. And, I spent my 20s, my 30s chasing to get the money. And then you get to your early 40s and it's like, oh, it doesn't matter that you did all these things. Yes. We're going to pull the rug underneath you and kick you out of the space that you've tried to so much to cultivate and be a part of. And yeah, it's hard.
It's so much betrayal in that, right? To the system that we're socialized to buy into, right? Go to school, get those degrees and be that. And then to see, I've worked with a lot of my clients, not a lot, but many of my clients have dealt with being laid off and it hurts. It's painful. And that's why I put it in like a breakup. It's like you need that time to mourn. It's almost like, to get over someone, you get under someone. But that is not the truth when it comes to, you got it.
I got it.
But, even in the situation, there's time to mourn.
Yeah.
It's time to feel the pain. And we don't like to sit in that. We don't enjoy the reminiscing or the regurgitating of the hurt and the betrayal that we feel. But it's important to sit in it. I always talk about sugar honey iced tea. I don't want to cuss on your thing, but sugar honey iced tea. But it's like sitting in that fertilizer. Plants do so well in fertilizer. But when we have stuff that stinks and is funky and has jacked us up, we don't like to sit in it, but that's where the growth happens. So I always love for those who have experienced that to slow down, to feel it, because it'll catch up with you. One day, whatever is happening, your body's going to say, okay, I got you this far, and now I can't go anymore. I'm shutting down. And then you have a total, not like a breakdown, but just you feel it. I'll never forget the day, divorcing 4 kids. And that's why I did the Strong Women's Playbook, because I thought I had to be strong with the S on my chest. I was laid off and I wasn't even making that much money. I had been a domestic goddess, 10 years staying home, raising kids, and then I'm going out to get a job. And I was just so happy to get $20 an hour. And then still, that was part-time. So I didn't have a lot of money. And getting my own place for the first time, I was from my parents' house to wedding, our place, and then having to go find I never paid rent on my own. It's just a lot of stuff. But I remember after divorcing years later, figuring out what does it look like. So when it hit me, I had, got the degrees. I had did all that stuff. It hit so bad, Kamika. It hit so bad. Like that cry that it finally, when I decided to take the S off, it was crazy. So in that morning, in that breakup, in that betrayal, everyone who's experiencing in this environment, it's almost, please, if you can, pause. I know we're trying to run in it, keep it going, run away from the pain, but it's real. It'll find us. It finds us. So I went from strong, and that's why I did the acronym a little different. Instead of just strong, like we Black woman strong, it was more S is strategic, T talented, R resilient, O optimistic, N necessary, G global. So my thing is, I didn't have a strategy, so I got a strategy. I utilized my talent. I remained optimistic. I knew I was freaking necessary, not just needed. I was necessary, which is ongoing. Did I do it all? Oh, resilience. Strategic, talent, resilient, bounce back. Then it was optimistic, necessary. And then with that, why not go global? And it's whatever global is to me, you. But that is understanding. If we don't sit in it, if we don't sit in it, and if we don't allow it to make sense in a way that we could keep going, it finds us. So everyone out there, if you're in this area, please sit in it. And that's why a coach or someone with a therapeutic background that's a coach or someone who's get a therapist and a coach. I have clients who have a therapist and a coach, and let it work for you, because we have to heal.
I get that we have to heal, and I get sitting in it, but we know that with all these layoffs, particularly, this was a strategy.
Oh, yeah.
This was strategic. This was made, this entire administration, their goal is chaos. Their goal is cruelty, and to systematically eliminate so many Black women out the workforce. It's unnerving. It is hard for us to sit in it, because somebody got to get out of it, because sis next to me is going through the same shit. My sister on the left, everybody, like my network is impacted.
Right.
Like, it's hard to kind of sit and kind of process the way, because, I even think about COVID, which I still feel like collectively we tried to move on, but we don't even address that underlying trauma that the year of 2020 brought to us, the chaos that happened. I know they've done a lot of studies on children and the impact that entire time has had, but we are going from tragedy to tragedy to tragedy. Right. It is very challenging to sit in it for long.
So sitting doesn't mean you're stopping. It just, when it hits, don't try to push through it. Let it hit. So that's what I mean by sitting. I don't, don't stop doing what you need to do, but understand if you go at a 10 all the time, and that's how you're kind of pushing down, dealing with the emotions that are coming up, that's what will catch up with you. But when it hits, let it hit. Find your space, find your place, find your people, and let it hit. It's not saying you have, it's rough. It is rough. It may, I'm DEI certified, now it's like, you don't even want to tell no, it's like, but but that also, this is where the coach in me is more like, well, we're so focused on offense, because, we should be more focused on defense just as much. Is that how I'm saying it? Because you want to run a play, right? Defense is something where you're stopping a play, but we study the other opponent. A lot of times we just show up in life and we only have our plays. We don't take in what's your defense. So the environment is saying this. The economically, it's saying this. My finances could say this. How am I going to be in my defensive mode so that I see this play is about to run? Am I ready for it?
So I want to make sure we understand your analogy, because
unless I need to switch defense offense, because I have not made a touchdown yet. That is a goal. So help a sister out.
Well, I'm the sports girly. Okay, I'm the sports girly. So I feel that we are in defense, meaning that we are unable to run our own plays because we are taking on everything the world's throwing at us. So if we were to think about it from a football, since you brought up football, yes. I am on the field as a defensive player for too long because they're running pass plays. They're getting first downs immediately. They're running they're running 5 yards here, 3 yards there. I can't get off the field to play offense because, the other team, they're just throwing so much at me and moving the ball steadily down the field, and they're to their benefit. So I can't get off the field to even think through playing offense. So the defense is on the field. I can't play quarterback yet, run my own plays because I'm still dealing with what is happening from the other team.
Okay. So then, but we have to get off the field and get on more of the offense. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I agree, but I don't see. I think where the challenge is how do we get off the field? Do we let them score?
But that's what the coach does. I think I believe that's what coaching will do for you, is open up that pathway. Remember at the beginning I said, we're able to help see the future for you. We're able to see things that you're blindsided by. So your head is down. We can see, because you're just focused on performing. So in allowing a coach to come in and see the big picture is what happens and gets you off the field, or switches whatever they do when they switch, right?
We know you ain't watching no sports, Carla.
I just want you to know I kept stats of football in high school, but I just counted tackles and I knew downs, but
okay.
And I never got to make a touchdown. So
it's okay, sis.
I'm gonna make one.
It's okay. We can play flag.
Can we?
Yes. There's options. So if we look at this analogy, this sports analogy, from what's happening to Black women, and we know that the layoffs are still happening, and there's not enough jobs, and financially, we don't know what's happening and the prices are going up. What would you tell them to start looking at, or how would you coach them to make the next move?
Well, let's see. One of them, they're still looking. I hope if they're looking to get back into finding a position, definitely go. Do that. One of my clients, I push them to go up a level. They're like, how can I go? Just go up a level. Look what the requirements are. Do you match 1 or 2? Then go for it. Let's, fix your resume. You can do it. I believe in you, especially if you've been waiting to take that step up. I will suggest that too. I always think it's important that someone finds a talent and monetize it. I've always shared that. I always share that with you. It's like, do you have a talent that can be monetized? Find that money and let whatever you have saved, if you saved anything or whatever is happening, take care of your means, but go out and find something that you can monetize. There's so much out there that we can do to be our own boss. That's another. And then the other one is stop looking at the news.
It's true.
No, you're right. Stop feeding that, because I think what we eat, what we chew on, we swallow and it becomes us. And so stop. Just stay away from the news. As a business owner, my job is to stay focused on propelling, on scaling, not looking at what I can't do. Because if I look at what I can't do, then I'm stuck and I'm going backwards. During COVID, if I got stuck on it's COVID, things are closed down. Thank God I already did virtual work. But that's the thing. It's like, what does work? What can work? What can I do? What have I been sitting on? What thoughts that have I pushed down when I say, you should do this? And I go, no, that's too much. Well, this is the time. Let's do it. Did that answer your question?
It does, but I know people are going to listen to this, Carla, and they're going to be like, girl, you're telling me to take a step up when I'm laid off and I don't have.
And it has worked. People have taken a step up and up their pay.
Mm.
It has worked because I think it's, how do you know if you don't try? A no is a no. You already got no's at the level that you're on. So
That's fair.
at least if they say a yes, you just did something. And I've had clients who I'm like, can we do this? Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. They don't sound like that.
Well, is that more from your male clients?
That
or
was
your...
a woman.
Oh, okay. I'm like, well, if it is, like,
no, it's female clients because I have one that was not laid off, but I'm always pushing in a way that they pay me to push is what you say you want this, because I'm hearing you. You say you want this, this, and this. This position is not giving you that. Look for a position that gives you what you want. You want to lead a team? Well, this is not what's happening here. Look for something that you lead a team. Okay. And it takes time, but they got it. They got it.
Why do you think we're shrinking ourselves, Black women? And instead of like taking this time, and I know what you're saying is true, Carla. I know what you're saying is true because I've experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced like the loss and losing the job, but getting more money. But I think there is, because so much has happened, people are afraid.
Right. Fear is false evidence appearing real. If you ever been to church, that's what they
Yes,
say.
this is true.
And you have to see, the thing is, we let fear be a wall instead of a hurdle.
Tell us more.
Well, because we see it as a stop sign. It's not. It could be a yield, or it could be, no, I'm not going to allow this economy to be the judge of my life. Especially the believers out there. That is not how you roll, And it is if we allow what has happened, it's not the first time the world's been crazy.
It's not. It won't be the last either.
No, in 2008, and I had a real estate license at the time, but that's when I found a job. It's like somebody is still going. Somebody is still making money. Somebody is still looking for support, help, consulting, something. Somebody is still looking. It's just getting out of our own way and just like, I'm going to try that. That's crazy, but I'm going to go for it. It's like, and stop focusing. I know it's hard, and God help me when I say this, and you can edit this out.
Oh, we won't.
Stop. I love being Black.
I do. Wouldn't want to come back any other color.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm also not going if I was interviewing, or when I went to an interview, it was never about, I'm a Black woman, this is how they're going to treat me.
Ooh, you're going to step on some toes with that.
That's why I said edit it out.
We're not going to edit it out, but we're going to step on some toes. But let's talk about it.
Well, we are what we think. And if we think that's a barrier, we've just put that barrier in the atmosphere. I already know they know. Well, maybe if you talk on the phone, you don't know.
I mean, and your name is Carla.
Carla
Michelle.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember looking for jobs. It's hilarious. I walk in, they're like,
Yeah.
Carla? I'm like, yes. But you know what? That still didn't stop me from looking. That's their problem.
That's their
That's
problem.
their problem. And that's good. I don't want to work here if that's how you see me. I'm fine, but it's not I can't enter in with that. Me mentally, I can't enter the interview with, oh, I don't see anybody who looks like me here. I can't afford that mentally to give it the best that I can in an interview when I'm already thinking I'm below.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by show up in what you know and what you have. We are what we are, but don't let that be in the forefront of our minds.
No, that's true. And I will say what I love about when I talk to you, when I talk to Loren, we always talk about there's lots of money out here.
Money.
There's abundance. There is we lack for nothing. And it's true though. And
what is lack? No.
We don't know her. But what I think that people, you have to have such a profound understanding that trouble does not last always. And really, this could be a great opportunity for you to come out even on the other side of this even better.
Right.
And
because you're supposed to.
Because we are supposed to.
You're supposed to come out better.
Mm.
Kamika, you're supposed to come out better. All that you've learned through your career, that is jewels. That is money. That is wealth. You're set up for greatness. Now, how do you utilize it? It's not the person you work for that made you. You made that company. Being there. So then anywhere you go, you win. Anywhere you go, you step up. You change the atmosphere. You walk in the room and all of a sudden they're like, oh, who's, we forget how powerful we are because of what we've been through, because of what we overcame. Don't forget the bruises on the knee and the scratched elbows. That's all part of who we are. That's what makes us great.
I mean, we know it's true. I think where I want the audience to...
I'm too positive.
No. But like, this is part of the reason why I'm bringing on experts now. Like, listen, you're hearing the stories.
Yeah.
Like, I've interviewed, I think the number is 18 women now at this point who have shared like the same thread of the story, which, hey, I lost my job, but at the end of the day, I was already tired. I was burnt out. I was doing all this. And now I'm in this predicament. I don't know if I should look for a job. I don't know if I should start my own thing. And I had somebody, or an expert, my very first expert, who said this could really be like a Harlem Renaissance for Black women. And then they'll be really mad because they thought, oh, we're going to eliminate all these Black women out the workforce. And now they're even further along and further on top and making more money and having more abundance and thriving versus surviving. But there has to be like this shift in the mindset. So I think I want to wrap it up by like asking like, how can Black women collectively use confidence and clarity to change their thinking during this period from survival to thriving?
Well, you use that word, we're in the workforce, and now it gives you the opportunity to just be the force.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh. Listen. I love a little tea moment. I love a little tea moment.
Right? That's what I heard when you said it. We are so socialized workforce, but like we're still the force. And you're right. It can be such a thing now. Why not, as we do, is sit at the table and discuss? Why not form something, do something, make it happen? There's so much to be done. It is not worn out, the opportunities. I always compare McDonald's and Burger King. They don't stop. They just keep going. It doesn't matter if they both got burgers and fries. They keep going. And so just because someone goes to In-N-Out, they're not stopping. Oh, my God, No, they are still doing what they do. And just because someone's not in the workforce doesn't mean the force is gone. It means that you have an opportunity to put that power somewhere else that takes you where you want to go. And yes, that's still like, what do we do? Well, I'm going to say this. You're not working right now.
I am working.
Well, no.
Oh,
General.
people aren't.
No.
Yeah.
Some people are not. Some people
okay.
are at home in the bed, box of tissue, not eating, totally depressed, going up and down with depression and not talking to anybody. That's that person right now. There's this plan that you can put in place where there is at least 3 days out of the week, you are focused on getting your resume out, networking, pulling on your network, getting emails out. You are focusing on making something, looking for something to happen, right? That's 3 days. You got 4 days to sit in the bed and cry with your tissue and not eat. But give yourself 3 days, 2 days, 1 day to get out there and give it all you got from 9 to 3 and get out there, whatever get out there means, right?
Yeah.
So that's real. I'm not saying that it's like you just go. No, but it works. If you give yourself a strategy, I go back to strong, give yourself a strategy of how can I get myself to know I don't feel guilty for laying in the bed, because that gets you then guilt because you ain't doing nothing, or your family's like, did you look for something? And so now you could say, yeah, on Mondays or Tuesdays or Thursdays, I devote the day. I dress, even if it's writing emails. I go to a coffee shop or I go in the other part of my home and I get my resume out. I take my clothes off and I get back into bed. And that's okay. So think about where you can find your force, if we play on that word. Where can you find your confidence? Because confidence can wane. You get a little bit and then it can be gone. Well, use it when you have it.
Yeah.
Use it when you have it.
And it doesn't have to be pre-planned.
No.
It might shift from Monday to Saturday night.
Let it shift. You're the boss now. We forget that. We think we're lost. No, we're the boss now. You get your time. The very thing you said you wanted, I got to do this, and I wish I got, these you ain't got no deadline. You are the boss. You can create the world you want right now. Why not? Why not create the world you said you wish you had when you were at the desk or, you were online doing the work? Create this time. Did I answer that question?
You did answer that question. I mean, it kind of lends to like why I created the coaching programs I have. Like DOT. DOT stands for do one thing.
That's it.
Just do one thing, y'all.
No, serious. I was just saying, you would have an exercise, do one sit up.
Just one.
Get back in the bed, then or go eat, whatever. Just one.
Because it lends to momentum, and even like I know some people like think there's a book out, Make Your Bed, which. Listen, if all you do is get out and make your bed or, all you do is brush your teeth. When I was in the throes, and it wasn't this layoff, actually, I'm doing really well this layoff. But, when I got laid off, I think it was right before my 32nd birthday. And I wouldn't even get up to brush my teeth. I was so depressed. I mean, I was so depressed. And, my mom came to visit, and my mom, God bless this Black woman who, if you have a Black mama, fortunate enough to have a Black mama, they will teach you like, girl, this is nothing. Okay. Like, I didn't get to feel my feelings with my mom because she came to visit me. It was already like, let me come check on my child. And I remember like I would be just in the dark, and it was the day before my 32nd birthday. And she looked at me and she said, Kamika, you're young, you're cute, you're not married, you don't have kids, you got a little bit of money in your bank. What are you really sad about? And I said, well, I don't have my job, mommy, and and all this other stuff. And she looks at me and she's like, well, did you even brush your teeth today?
Real.
And I hadn't. And I was like, okay, well, she's like, at least brush your teeth, baby, if nothing else.
Right.
And it really was like, okay, let me brush my teeth every day.
What did you feel you lost?
Looking at my camera.
When you were laying in the bed, or even now, well, you already talked about what you said, the money.
It's the loss of society value from a workplace.
Ooh,
And I'm the
that's
first to
good.
admit that I have given
Right.
these corporations who are running on systems not designed for me to even win and thrive.
But you
I
did.
I did, and I gave them way too much power to dictate
Right.
my value.
Right. 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 Okay. So it feels like they took your value or your validation just because you don't have that name that you work for. Da 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 da. Okay, I get it.
And that was in the past, and this is when I lived in Atlanta, and that was a totally different
Yeah.
way to
Oh,
navigate,
right.
especially when you go to parties and they ask you, oh, what do you do?
Right.
What's your title?
Right.
And if it doesn't match what they perceive to be important, then you're moved on and discarded, and your
Right.
calls aren't returned.
Right.
Because what can you do for me? Because you don't have the title that speaks to or lends to that type of, I guess, value exchange.
Mm-hmm. And that's their loss because you do have value. I mean, I hear what yeah. We get, as people, the title, and I know we're closing, the title is so key. Even if when we get or have the title now, we have to disengage.
Mhm.
The title is just as we find out when we're let go, it's just a title.
It's just a title.
And you don't have it anymore,
No.
And so that's why I work on identity. And identity is we don't identify with a title that someone's given us. We identify with who we truly are. So anywhere I go, I can still be. It's not based on the title. It's based on I identify as this.
What do you identify as, Carla?
Oh, gosh, let's see. Brilliant.
Mm.
Empowered. I identify as intelligent. I identify as I can make it through anything. So far, I have. I identify as someone who is loving, who's thoughtful. I identify as someone who can make money on her terms. I identify that there is no ceiling. The only person that's stopping me is me. I identify as someone who leads themselves. I identify as someone who needs support. I identify as someone who needs friends. I identify as someone who can be a friend. I identify as a mother. I identify as a sister. I identify as my parents are no longer, but I identify as the daughter who appreciates what her parents did when they were here. I identify with my history, that it didn't break me, but it is who I am. So I utilize it for my good instead of what it was intended for. I identify as, someone who's always getting opportunities to be in places where I can show up as who I am. And I thank you for that.
Well, I think that's a great way to end our interview. Where can the people find you, Carla?
Oh, yes. Please find me at Dr. Carla Inc. Whatever my name, DrCarlaInc.com. And I am on the socials at Dr. Carla Michelle. And please visit the website. There's some free resources there. My books are there. We have The Free Woman. Well, these are books you don't just read. These are books you do. So with each chapter, especially confidence or being free, it talks about finances, it talks about relationships, it talks about leadership, it talks about various things, but it's always in my books. It's not just a reader. It's okay, apply it to yourself. What did you get out of it? Where you want to go with this? The how I'm going to use this book, not just I read it, but how am I going to use what I feel is helpful for people to know.
Awesome. Thanks, Carla.
Thank you.
This has been wonderful. Oh.
So proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I don't know why, but I love that you're proud of me.
As we sit up in here recording, I'm going to let that slide.
We're going to let it slide. Okay. Thank you so much, Carla.
My pleasure.
All right. So Carla dropped a ton of gems. Really had me thinking a lot as she was speaking about how I identify. But let's go into this week's S.A.V.E. strategy. So for this week's SAVE strategy, we are actually going to flip the V from validate to voice. Okay. We want to use our voice because one of the biggest things we can do right now is actually use our voice and trust our voice. Too often we sit around waiting for permission, waiting for someone else to tell us that we matter. But the truth is, confidence doesn't come from someone else's stamps of approval. It grows when we stop outsourcing our truth and start speaking it to ourselves. So when we're dealing in this season of loss, when we're dealing with this season of unknown setbacks, etc., even failure, know that this is not the end. All these experiences are here to amplify. Every stumble, every setback, it sharpens us. It gives us a new story, a clear perspective, a stronger voice. When we fall, we learn with more authority, more clarity, more conviction. So here's my challenge to you this week. Where have you been silent? Maybe it's in a meeting. Maybe it's in a relationship. Maybe it's in the way that you talk to yourself. Pick one space, just one, and we talked about that with Carla, just one day, and use your voice. Ask for help, share your story, or say no when it matters. Confidence isn't built in perfection. It's built in the sound of your own voice, rising after failure. Speak it, own it, and let your voice remind you that you are already enough. And that is this week's episode. Like, subscribe, and follow Black Women Will Save Black Women wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on all social media. Follow me on all social media. Miss KT Dillard on TikTok, Kamika T. Dillard on Instagram. Remember to support, amplify, validate, and elevate. That is how we save each other. And never forget that Black women will save Black women. I'm Kamika Dillard. Have a good day, y'all.